Most sellers think they're doing everything right. You hire a good agent, you have good professional photos, clean house, you declutter, you paint the front door, you light a candle. And sure, that stuff helps. But there are decisions that happen before, during, and after you list your home that can absolutely cost you money, and they have nothing to do with how your home looks. Here are 3 things that I wouldn't do. If I were selling my home today, coming straight from a real estate agent, and knowing these things could be the difference between a sale you feel completely confident about or potentially leaving money on the table that you didn't have to. The first one is about preparation, and it's something you can do before you ever put a sign in the yard, and 90% of sellers don't do it. The second one is about something that happens while your home is actively on the market, and it might surprise you coming from a realtor. And the third one happens to be once you were already under contract with a buyer, and there is a contract term that most sellers have never heard of, but absolutely need to know and need to be educated about. Okay, number 1, I would never skip the pre-listing inspection. Here's how most sales go. Home seller lists the home, buyer comes in, buyer hires their own inspector. That inspector spends 3 hours going through every inch of your home, and then you, as the home seller, gets an amendment back with repair request, price reductions, all kinds of credits on things they didn't even know existed, or honestly could have been fixed for a fraction of what you are now being asked for. Now you're reactive and you're negotiating from a weak position. And depending on what was found, you could be looking at thousands of dollars that you didn't plan to have to give up when you listed your home, and on a timeline that you just don't control. Here's what I recommend instead, and trust me on this. Get your own home inspection done before you list. Yes, it costs a few $100s, and yes, in Georgia, whatever that inspector finds, you are going to need to disclose it, but here's what that inspection actually buys you. It buys you choices and power. You find out about that HVAC issue before the buyer does. Now you get to decide, do I fix it and price it accordingly? Do I credit it? Do I disclose it and let the buyers factor it in from the start? You're in control of that conversation instead of responding to it under pressure. Whatever credits the buyer is asking for is severely inflated on what a repair actually costs. I promise I do this every day. I really don't know why more sellers don't spend a little bit of money up front and get this done. It can save you so much money. Okay, number 2, and I'll be honest, this one might surprise you coming from someone in real estate. I wouldn't do an open house. And hear me out. Think about what an open house actually requires from you as a home seller. You have to pack up your kids, you got to pack up the dog, your personal stuff, and you have to be out of your home for hours on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, sometimes both. That's a real disruption when you want to just maybe spend the Sunday relaxing or getting ready for the week. And who's actually walking through your door on a Sunday afternoon? Mostly people who are early in their research phase. They're curious, they're browsing, they saw a sign and thought, hey, it's a Sunday, it's pretty, why not? They are not serious buyers. They are not ready to move, or a lot of times they're not ready to buy a house. Here's the thing, a pre-approved buyer who is ready to purchase your home is not waiting until Sunday afternoon when it likely came on the market on a Thursday. That buyer is calling their real estate agent the same day and trying to get in immediately. That's how motivated buyers operate. So, who is the open house actually for? Why do people do them? Honestly, I'm just going to say it. It's a great opportunity for real estate agents to meet unrepresented buyers who are early in their search. It's a lead generation tool for the real estate industry. That's not a cynical take. That's just the reality of how it works. Trust me, I do them to meet people. Okay, what actually sells homes is strategic pricing, strong professional photos and videos, and targeted marketing that gets your listing in front of the right qualified buyers fast. Private showings with pre-approved buyers. That's what moves homes. You don't need to unlock your door to hundreds of strangers on a Sunday to sell your house. And in all my years of selling real estate and of all the open houses I have done, and trust me, I do them just about every single weekend, I want you to guess how many of those open house buyers actually wanted to make an offer on the house. One person in all the years and all the open houses. I've probably done hundreds of open houses at this point. And the only reason they were at the open house is because honestly, they weren't really too happy with their real estate agent and they were kind of looking to do something else. So they met me and they bought the house and we took care of them. But anyway, I digress. All right, now we're going to move into the actual contract territory. And this next one is something I wish every seller knew before they ever went under contract. Because if you haven't heard this term before, you could end up with your home off the market for weeks with zero protections if things go wrong. I would never accept a contingent offer without a kick-out clause. Let me explain both of those things because I know probably what I just said sounds like a foreign language. If you're not in real estate, you may not know what either of those terms mean. Totally get it. A contingent offer is when a home buyer makes an offer on your home, but that offer is contingent on them selling their own home first. They want to buy yours, but they just can't fund it until their house closes because they need to take the proceeds from that house to buy your house. This happens all the time, especially with people that are looking to upgrade their homes. And they're trying to do both transactions at once. So this is where you see back-to-back closings where they close on their house and they close on yours the same day or within a day or two apart. Here's the problem. When you accept that offer, your home is essentially off the market. It shows under contract online and other buyers move on because they don't think the home is available, so they don't come and see it. And you're sitting there waiting sometimes weeks or months for your buyer's home to sell. And if it doesn't, if that deal falls apart, you've lost all that time. You've lost the momentum on the market and you've missed other buyers and you're essentially starting over. Now, contingent offers aren't automatically bad. Sometimes the buyer is strong, their home is priced well, and it's the best offer that you have on the table. I get it. But here's what you do in that situation. You negotiate what's called a kick-out clause. A kick-out clause means that even though you've accepted the contingent offer, you keep the right to continue to show your home. If another buyer comes in with a stronger offer, one that isn't contingent, then you typically notify the original buyer and they typically have a window of usually 48 to 72 hours to either remove their contingency and commit to buying your home, or they say, hey, we're having problems, we're not getting offers on our home, we're going to release you from the contract so you can move forward with the new buyer because we just can't afford your house without selling this one. That's your protection. That's your exit. Without it, you have none. If you are thinking about selling in Atlanta, whether that's this summer or maybe you're just starting to think about it, feel free to reach out to me. My number is on the screen. Yes, that is my cell phone number. I am happy to walk you through your specific situation with absolutely no pressure, just a good conversation from somebody that's knowledgeable in the market. And hey, if you made it this far, you might like the next video. These are the things I would not fix after you get that pre-listing inspection. Link is on the screen right now. I hope to see you over there.